Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Denver Bronco Roundup. My name is Keith. I am your host. I am your solo host. It's probably why I got a lot of stuff going on in the background. Sorry for the noise. Appreciate everyone jumping in here and joining me. Figure we'd jump in and just talk a little bit of Denver Broncos, Kansas City Chiefs before, the game kicks off. I know everyone's probably getting ready, trying to get settled in. I know I will be too. But there's possibilities, man. I wanted to talk about what this game meant, what it kind of looked like, when the season started, because quite honestly, I think for most of us, we looked at this as the first game in the entire schedule where we thought there might be competition. We expected there would be wins up until now. Unfortunately, the wins haven't came, and we're sitting in a different position at 1-4. But that being said, man, excuse me. This game is I guess in my mind still a possibility, still maybe a win. Kenny's coming in here and saying, "Happy Thursday, game night, everyone." Thank you so much, Kenny. Kenny from the fantastic K&K Sports Show. Check those guys out. K&K Sports Show will get you caught up on all your major sports from coast to coast, not just your Colorado flavor like we do over here at the Rocky Mountain Sports Network. So check them out. Also jumps in and says, "Solo, it's a game night, and the Broncos will avoid the worst start and shock the world." And that's kind of what I'm talking about. I mean, you even look at like last week and what happened on Thursday Night Football, and it's always an anomaly. I mean, the Bears go in and just run up on the Washington Commanders. I almost said the former name. But yeah, I mean, anything is possible, including what Kenny's saying here, us going in and shocking the world. It was supposed to be less of a shock when we started this game. When we started this season, I'm sorry, not this game. Game hasn't started yet. It's coming up soon, guys, and we're just doing a little quick, preview into the game. So, going to jump in and check out these comments because I'm getting Adam and Kayla coming in here, and man, heart goes out to you, yo family. Glad everything's good with you, Adam and Kayla. We're friends on Facebook, and it looks like everything is well for you at this moment. So I know things were a little bit rough, it seems. So appreciate the show, love you all. We love you and appreciate you, Adam, and appreciate you guys a ton. So Adam and Kayla. I was just getting back to what this game looked like before this season ever started, and how it was supposed to be the main game, the game that we were really supposed to finally have competition. And boy, was it going to be competition as we took on the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid. And it goes back to something I heard at the very beginning of the season. The reason that you go out and you go through a very intense coaching search is because when you're going up against Andy Reid and the Kansas City Chiefs, you can't do that with Vance Joseph as your head coach. You can't do that as Nathaniel Hackett as your head coach. You can't do that as Vic Fangio as your head coach. You're just playing behind. You have to go out there and you have to get somebody who's on the same level as an Andy Reid. And who's going to be on the same level as an Andy Reid? We went out and we got Sean Payton. So that was the reason we thought, we'd be rolling by the time we got to the Kansas City Chiefs, and this is going to be one heck of a game. And secondarily, we should be able to be competitive in this game. We got the coach who's going to put it all together. Going to get caught up on some comments. Give it to me straight. You think we've got a chance? Well, me and a good buddy, we used to be a good friends, hang out a lot, watch some movies, and I'm sure we watched Dumb and Dumber one too many times together. So you're telling me there's a chance? 1 in a million? Maybe less, or maybe better than that. I think there is a chance, and the reason being is, and I'll start to go through this. Like I said, Sean Payton was brought in order to make this happen. Sean Payton has got this offense clicking in a lot of different ways. I mean, I was the biggest naysayer in thinking that Russell Wilson of this DBR crew, maybe not all the way across, but in this DBR crew, and thinking that Russell Wilson could be a top 10 quarterback this season. Well, lo and behold, what do we have? We have Russell Wilson, top 10 quarterback. What else do we have going on? Well, we have Jaleel McLaughlin that's came out of nowhere. Almost put Javonte Williams on the back burner in everyone's mind as far as Broncos country is concerned, because, man, is that guy electric. He's got speed. He's got burst. He's got ability. I mean, that screen pass that he ended up tipping to himself and then going in for a touchdown. Let's be happy about plays like that. My goodness. You got Marvin Mims out there that's can't get enough playing time, plain and simple. And time's up for trying to get these guys warmed up and, taking your time to get them up on the field, especially with all the chatter of who may and may not be here in future weeks. So, we have the offense. By the way, Greg Dulcich, been cleared. Looks like he's going to come off IR and be available for this game. So just another weapon for Russell Wilson in this offense. For all the struggles that Ben Powers had, especially very early, he's looking pretty good up front, and that's big because that was a large investment that we put there. Mike McGlinchey is a guy that, again, has struggled early, but this is a guy that, missed a lot of training camp, or missed some of training camp, I should say. Didn't play in the preseason. He's finally getting his groove, looked better, didn't look great last week. So things are coming together on offense. But let's face it, guys, it's not the offense that we're all worried about. It's this defense. So how do you overcome, what has become the worst defense in the league? Well, a lot of people already are talking about Vance Joseph and the possibility of him not being here. And, certainly the rumors haven't been swirling nearly as much as, players possibly being moved on from. But it's certainly a possibility. And if you're a player, you got to play beyond what your coach is putting out there and giving you. If your coach isn't putting you in the right position, you put yourself in the right position. It's simple as that. You guys got to step up. You got to play with passion. I mean, if your backs are against the wall, you're almost in the least in the worst statistics in the league in almost every single defensive category. There's almost nothing you can do that would be worse. But more than anything, you need to go out there and you need to play with some passion. So, in reality, how do we make this happen? On defense, like I said, it's going to take a big step up. Right now, the Kansas City Chiefs, Isaiah Pacheco, are running all over people. Travis Kelce has been almost the only weapon that you've had from a receiving standpoint for the Kansas City Chiefs. And he's a little bit banged up. Not going to be 100%, I can guarantee you that. So is there a chance? Yes, absolutely. But it's going to start with Isaiah Pacheco. And by the way, and I think I've seen this through other games where teams have worn us down in the running game. They do it with multiple running backs. Well, they have multiple running backs. Doesn't matter if you're talking about Isaiah Pacheco. Doesn't matter if you're talking about Clyde Edwards-Helaire. It doesn't matter if you're talking about Jerick McKinnon. I mean, they've got running backs galore. This is going to be a tall test for this Denver defense. But first and foremost, they got to be able to step up and they got to be able to stop this run. Expect a ton of zone defense in this game, by the way. I'm going to check in because Kenny says he has a serious question. Does Peyton get a pass? Meaning he is an offensive-minded coach and offense is playing somewhat better than last year. Or is he the head coach and has to make sure that both sides are improving each week or fix it any way he can? This is a good question, Kenny. I like this. I would say if it was a different head coach other than Sean Payton, I might agree with what your statement is here. And the reason I say that is this. I'm going to get just a quick sip. Thank you. Sean Payton came in here and he was given so much power. He came in here and he was able to bring in his staff. He was able to bring in the players he wants, and we've all seen that through, again, Saints 2.0. That doesn't tell me that George Payton is out there pulling all the strings. Before Sean Payton arrived, we all thought that we were maybe the Minnesota Vikings 2.0 because George Payton and all the Minnesota Viking linkage that we brought into this team. So Sean Payton put this team together, Kenny, including hiring Vance Joseph. And that's where I think he just stepped a little bit too far. You can bring in the players that you wanted to. You could bring in some coaches that you worked with. That's all fine and good, even if you seem to be doing it in abundance. But when you bring in a former head coach of the team that you're now going to be coaching, and you bring him in as an assistant, and you're like, man, no, this is the guy, you're putting it all on you at that point. And whether you need to fix it week to week or you made a bad decision from the very beginning, I mean, this just all comes down to Sean Payton and his decision. It's a bad decision. It hasn't worked out. At some point, you got to pull the plug, whether that's the end of the season, whether it's, after Thursday, after tonight, whether it's Monday, Tuesday, who knows? But at some point, it doesn't look like this is going to work out. And unfortunately, Kenny, Sean Payton has to wear a little bit of that. He's been wearing quite a bit. For a guy that said they're supposed to be anonymous donors, goes out there and is the first one to sit down with lattes and talk to Jared Bell and air everything about Nathaniel Hackett. Sure open the door, because now you have Jerry Jeudy who's doing the same thing. But guys, I digress out of that. In order for us to win on defense, stout on the run, first and foremost. It's going to be tough. DJ Jones is out. And so we're going to have to use a rotation up front, but these are rookies that are going to have to, or not rookies, but these are, less experienced guys that are going to have to step up, and they're going to have to hold that front line. They're going to have to make sure that they can fill their gaps. Josie Jewell and Alex Singleton need to step up. In this zone scheme, they got to watch to wherever Travis Kelce is, and quite honestly, I want the safety creeping down on that same side, because that linebacker needs to follow him almost from the moment he breaks the line of scrimmage until he passes him off to that safety. If not, Travis Kelce will be the difference maker via the playing off the run if the run is at all stumbling, or if for some reason they just are trying to mix it up. Those two pieces are going to go hand in hand. Isaiah Pacheco, Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce, like I said, is banged up, so I think you might have a little bit of a chance there. But more than anything, these guys, again, this was a top 10 defense the majority of last year. There hasn't been that much changeover, especially from a negative impact standpoint, that you can sit here and say, there's no way that these guys can play good defense. No, all the players, all the pieces are in place. We've even seen, a lot of us haven't been talking about Damari Mathis as of lately. Damari Mathis has stepped up quite well. The times that Kareem Jackson is out there on the field, he's been playing well for us. So yes, there's ability on this Broncos defense to shut this Kansas City Chiefs offense down. And quite honestly, guys, again, kind of getting back to this two-headed monster that they have their run game, they have Travis Kelce. And beyond that, there's not a whole lot else going on with this team. It's, Patrick Mahomes isn't otherworldly. Those are that, the otherworldly teams right now are now the San Francisco 49ers and the Miami Dolphins. They're knocked down a notch or two. They're not playing lights out in every single game. I'm going to check in on a couple of comments, and I apologize. I'm going to grab your name. So Papa Grande is jumping in here and saying, should we start going for the Caleb Bowl if we can't get nothing started by week 9? That's a good question, because that's a little bit further down the road. Everyone's talking about, going for Caleb right now, and Papa, I'm not up on that, man. I'm not a guy that wants to tank for anybody. I don't care if it's Tua. I don't care if it's Caleb. I don't care if tank for Drake. I don't care who it is. Um, I'm not in on that. By week nine, yeah, I think by week nine, other than maybe sitting a quarterback, sitting some starters that are still on your team, there's not a whole lot more you can do. But that's almost still halfway through the season. I mean, it's not like you want to see what Jarrett Stidham's going to be able to do for you. I mean, your money's riding with Russell Wilson, and quite honestly, the thing that you want to do, especially if you want to move on to a Caleb Williams, is you'd want everyone to think that Russell Wilson is the best thing since sliced bread, and they want to trade you for him, or he has increased his value. So, yeah, I don't see that we're at week 9 we're doing it. I see that we're doing it before the trade deadline, but beyond that, I think it's going to be kind of rolling with what you got at that time. So, Kenny's jumping in saying, I think the pressure will be on PS2 and the other cornerbacks tonight because if I'm Vance, I'm stopping the run and doubling Kelsey, and they have to play man coverage if I was coaching the defense. Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, you're kind of in a lot of ways, you're stopping, like I said, you're stopping the run. You're kind of doubling because you're sneaking that safety down. But the thing that I don't want to have happen, guys, I don't want us to get out of zone. I don't want us to play man. And the reason I don't want us to play man is because we still have Patrick Mahomes. And playing man means you're turning your back. And at best, you're trying to spy Patrick Mahomes with another guy on your defense, which is never a good matchup. You're too far off the ball. He's too good at angles. He's got enough speed. So I think it's got to be a lot of zone. But that zone has got to be a tight zone. You got to be able to cheat that safety down on Travis Kelce. And that zone has got to be able to attack that line at the same time. Like I said, Alex Singleton, Josie Jewell, those are the guys that I want you guys watching tonight. You got to watch that defensive line. You got to watch those two linebackers. You got to see if there's good safety play. Yes, the corners are going to come into play, but there's not a whole lot of guys out there that are making big plays. Marquez Valdez-Scantling is non-existent. I'm trying to think of all the other receivers that they have, but it's pretty scarce there, guys. It's a Travis Kelce show. So, good friend of the show, fantastic friend of the show, and we're running up here, guys. I'm not gonna do this long. We're probably got another 10 minutes or so before we get out of here. Give you guys a chance to get settled in for the game. Just want to get in here and give my thoughts and maybe guys give you a little bit of hope. We got the Broncos all suited up in the stall, all already in the chute, ready to come out bucking, man. So Michael Ronquillo's coming in here and saying, good evening, Keith. Fantastic evening to Michael Ronquillo. You know why? It's Michael Ronquillo's birthday. I know that. Yeah, here he is. Broncos are playing on my birthday today, man. So Broncos country, you don't know what type of fan you have if you don't know who's Michael Ronquillo's name. You need to go out there and get a win for Michael. You need to go out there and get a win for the Ronk. Go get it, guys, man. This guy deserves it, man. He's a huge, huge fan of yours, and it's his birthday. Go get a win, man. Go get a win. Mr. Sis coming in here and saying, good luck tonight, boys. Well, we're going to need a lot of luck. I think we're going to need a lot of luck. But, stranger things have happened. We've got an offense that's certainly capable. We got a defense that, hey, do you want to be a laughing stock for another week? Or do you want to play hard? Do you want to be sitting at the bottom of every single statistical category? Or do you want to show up? Do you want to, hey, more than anything, do you want to take away the streak that the Kansas City Chiefs have in beating you 15 times in a row? By the way, I was listening to a little Sirius XM. If you guys don't know, Alex Smith has joined Sirius XM. And Alex Smith was the last losing quarterback in a Kansas City Chiefs versus Denver Broncos game. Alex Smith, guys. Throw that around your head. You want to know who the winning quarterback was? I'll let you guys guess. You can throw it in there in the comments for a second. I'll get back to it here in a second. So, oh, goodness. Papa Grande. I'm on suicide watch. I can't take another loss. Don't do it, buddy. Not worth it. Our fandom is strong, it's deep, and You know what? I want to take this from another host I know from another show. You know how you're a fan is when you ride all the way down to the bottom and you ride all the way back up to the top again. And how great is that feeling? Well, right now we got the bottom feeling. It's tough. Man, we're 1-4. We've been getting kicked in the teeth when we shouldn't have. We shouldn't be here. And that's exactly how this defense needs to come out and play. We shouldn't be here. We're going to go out here. We're going to play lights on, hair on fire, lights out. We got to make this happen. We got to turn around for guys like Papa. We got to get a win for Michael Ronquillo. No, but seriously, guys, these guys have pride. These guys have pride, and there's no better time than a game like this against your rival to show up some pride. If for some reason, if you guys remember, it was the last, maybe 4 or 5 games, they said the Broncos defense, maybe, stuttered, stubbed their toe, didn't look so good in the last 4 or 5 games of last season. That means that, about 4 or 5 games of this season, we haven't looked that good. Well, turn it around. Look good like you did last season. There's no reason we can't. There's no reason we can't. I really hope that Vance Joseph, this defense, has got it put together. Because if they do, this could be one heck of a game. One heck of a game, guys. I think this Kansas City defense is not otherworldly. They can get after the quarterback. So this offensive line is going to be tested. But we shouldn't be worried about that anyway. We should be worried about running the ball. And, hey, Sean Payton came out in his post-presser after last game and said, hey, that's on me. I got to do better. We can't abandon the run. I know that. Well, here's the chance. Here's a chance to go ahead, and they need to keep going and going and going. A lot of Pirine, a lot of McLaughlin. We'll see how Pookie's doing. Good old Javonte Williams. See if he gets some turns in there as well. I know that he's been working his way back, but he wasn't out there last week. So, again, guys, it's a possibility. Don't give up hope. I'm hoping that every single one of you guys are stoked for this game. Let's get up. Let's put some positive energy out there in Broncos country. Let's channel it throughout. Let's think good thoughts because, man, I tell you what, if all things happen, if, as Kenny pointed out earlier, we go out there, we shock the world on Thursday night, not unheard of. Crazy Thursday night football games. Man, I tell you, they're all out there all the time. If we go out there, we win this game, how much better does tomorrow feel? How much better does this Broncos team feel? There will be some questions to answer as we kind of move forward because, man, if we get a win tonight, there's been a lot of pieces and parts on the table. I know that Sean Payton came out and said, hey, we're not out there shopping, but if the phone rings, of course we're going to pick up the phone, but, we're not looking to shop guys. Well, looks like Frank Clark might be out the door. He's been out with an illness all week, did not practice. I think he's sick of not really winning. That being said, looks like Frank Clark might be looking for another job or looking at playing for another team, and Jerry Jeudy has been hot on that list too. So I don't know what a win means when it comes to things like that. I know what it means for every single one of you. I know what it means for me. I know what it means for a lot of those guys on that team that are going to remain. And, man, it's time, man. It's time. So a few more comments before I get out of here. Papa Grande coming in again saying, oops, I got ahead of myself there. Comments jumped real quick. They don't care about us. Laugh out loud. We're hit dog and burger flippers, or hot dog and burger flippers, just like Evan Neal said. Ooh, yeah, bringing it in. Yeah, there's a Giants fan in here, so he probably knows exactly what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about too, and Evan Neal ended up walking back those comments, but oops, too late. Yeah, I know that they care on a large level. I mean, there's guys. I've been out to training camp. I've talked to players one-on-one. I've sat with them. I shouldn't say sat with them. I've had conversations, just me and them, nobody else around, and literally being told, man, this is why I do it. This is why we do it. We do it for you guys, man. We appreciate you. We love you. So I know there are some out there, man. May not be all of them. May not be them collectively, but hey, there's guys out there that they're playing for you, man. They're playing for you in the stands. They want to put forth their best. So Michael's jumping in saying Russell Wilson said, "Let's start a new history against the Chiefs." Yeah, he said we need to start that new history. He also said, "Hey, it's one game at a time. You got to take it one game at a time. You got to put the past in the past, and you got to be able to put yourself moving forward. You look at the tape, you improve on what you can, but all in all, man, you've got to put that out of your head, especially when you still have this many games remaining. 12 games remaining. 12 games remaining, guys. You know, statistically almost impossible, plausible, or otherwise, but hey, that means that 13-4 is in the possibilities. Like again, not statistically possible probably, but at the same time, 12 more games, man. It's amazing what could happen. Could all start tonight, man. Kenny's coming in, and after this, guys, I'm going to be wrapping it up. Unless you guys want to throw that answer out there, who was the winning quarterback for the Denver Broncos the last time the Broncos won? It was against Alex Smith and the Kansas City Chiefs. Last time we played the Chiefs, throw it out there. Kenny said, all joking aside, which team in the AFC is running away with the conference? My answer is none. Bengals 3 losses, Bills 2 losses. No one is running away with this conference, and the AFC as a whole, not as strong as everyone thought, in my opinion. And that's a good point, man. Ravens took that loss. Bengals, Dolphins, right after they end up beating us, they end up losing. So yeah, and Michael Ronquillo coming in with the right answer. It was Peyton Manning last time we won a game versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Losing quarterback was Alex Smith. So guys, I don't want to end on that necessarily, but go out there, big vibes, big positive energy. You know, anything can happen. This defense needs to step up. I want to see a lot of zone. Want to see those linebackers playing lights out in order to be able to both stop the run as well as, you know, get after the passing game. They love to cross over the middle. They like to take Travis Kelce and put him wherever he needs to be. He gets a lot of flexibility in trying to find the soft place. Don't let him find the soft place. Isaiah Pacheco's got to be shut down. So those guys that are up front in the trenches, big night tonight, guys. Got to step up. This has got to be a run-heavy game, guys. This has got to be a run-heavy game on our side of the ball as well. We got to commit to that. It's going to set up anything and everything if we want to do it in the passing game. We saw it in the first half of last week's game or on Sunday's game versus the Jets. We had everything kind of rolling. A little bit of pass, a little bit of run. We go all pass, the run shuts down. So a balanced attack on offense. No turnovers. Turnovers are bad, guys. Talking to you, Marvin Mims. Talking to you, Russell Wilson. Just as a couple examples. Cortland Sutton from a couple of games ago doesn't need to show up either. So, you know, taking care of the ball in a game like this is big, guys. I'm going to get out of here. I appreciate you guys so much. Kenny's coming in here and giving me a little bit of praise. Appreciate you, Kenny. I hope you guys enjoy a big game and a big win. And for those of you who like the Denver Bronco Roundup and like to tune into all our shows, we're queuing up one for Friday. Do a little post game. Looks like it's going to be Trevor and I that are going to be on that show. So watch out for that. We'll be going live. We typically go, that 6 or 7 o'clock time frame. I would imagine it's probably going to be 7. But again, watch your calendars. Make sure you're hitting all your notifications so you know. So again, guys, Facebook, YouTube, and of course X as well. We're all out there on all 3 of those. Guys, I can't say it enough. I appreciate you guys so much. I'm going to go out of here. Remember, see if I can do this now. Keep your feet in the stirrups. Keep your gun in your holster. And keep the Broncos in your heart. Until next time, guys, I'm out of here. Have a great night. Go Broncos. Let's get that win.